Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO. Free, impartial advice on all your debt.
This is something that comes along every now and then in generation, and it's special.
Razaban IFL TV in association with MTK Global. With me this Sunday evening, Sky Sports' very own, the best pundit in the world, Mr. Johnny Nelson. How are you, Johnny?
Evening. Happy December. Christmas is coming up. People are now looking forward to going to a fight where there's a crowd. Things are changing. Smile, people, smile. Oh, yeah. And I'm getting slated on Twitter.
How was dinner? I saw on your story, I think your daughter took you out somewhere.
You know what? It's me jigging about in the house. I'm thinking, yes, to take him out for food. And I'm dancing like a youngster. I got in the car. But it's nice, actually. It's nice. It's been a nice day.
Johnny, we should start a lot going on in boxing at the moment. Let's start on Friday night Matchroom show. You was there, and Billy Joe Saunders' performance against Martin Murray. Martin Murray's been there, stepped in with some of the great world champions, and came up short. So he's kind of rugged. He's strong. Gave Billy, a decent night of work, but Billy seemed quite critical and thought he could do a lot better and was quite poor to his standards. Did you agree?
Totally agree. I can understand why Billy criticised himself so much, because he's much, much better than what he actually saw, and I actually thought he boxed well. Martin Murray's 38 years old, so therefore his pace, his speed, his reactions are not going to be what they were. I know that I retired around that same age, so your actions aren't as sharp as what they would be. Still, Billy actually looks to take steps up at super middle. Super middle, he's fighting super middle. He looked a lot smaller than Martin Murray, but he was sharp enough, he was smart enough, he was fast enough. He just didn't have that stunning shot to make a difference. Billy can perform a lot better than that, and I think he performed well. Billy's a two-weight world champion. I still think he's underperformed, underaccomplished, because I know this guy can fight. He'll give it enough to win, and so therefore sometimes I don't think he will get the credit he deserves until each time he does show it, you think, wow, where's that come from? Billy's always at it. Billy's a talented young man, and as I said, he's not lost to a Brit since the age of 12. So how much? It depends on how much he wants to put on the line. I think for Billy, the higher the risk, the better the performance, because he understands how much of a commitment he has to put in and into training. And again, knowing Billy, I think Billy, when he's entered training camp, he's made sure he's just done enough to win, where he actually could do a Usain Bolt and smile and look at the clock when he's like 10 meters ahead of everybody else, but he just does enough to win.
I read somewhere where Billy Joe turned professional roughly or around the same time as James DeGale, Frankie Gavin, who have all retired since, and Billy seems like he's in his peak now. Is it important? Is it like almost mandatory that he has to fight now the top dogs, the Canelo?
Yeah, of course.
Triple G Andrade.
Because of his age. Now, he's had 3 fights in the last 3 years. So he's not active enough for one reason or another. He's not been in too many wars. So therefore, his longevity, he's outlasted the ones he turned pro with at the time. And that's it. And again, I think, and that's because of that inactivity. Of such a talented fighter, we've just not seen the best of him. Yes, he needs to make sure, like you said, he needs to make sure every fight means something now, because he's at that age where the top of the hill's coming, and so there's only one way when you're there, and he's a champion. He's done that, so he needs to make sure every fight means something. That's why he'll get frustrated. That's why he's saying, "Come on, give me those boys." And he'll see what happens between Canelo and Smith, and say for instance, we saw Jacob box the other day. Jacob got a lot of stick because Jacob, he's not the fighter he was. He started to slow a little. He's not as sharp, not as destructive as what he was before. And so Billy doesn't want to be in that position where he finally gets the shot and we can't see the best of him because the best of him's gone.
Johnny, on the same night, you made some comments that broke Twitter, where you said James Tennyson will beat Gervonta Davis now. Gervonta Davis is definitely one of the top 10 fighters in the world. Probably one of the best lightweights in the world, without doubt, as well. You said James Tennyson can beat him now. Could you clarify your comments?
I did. And I said that because of the power that this young man possesses in both hands. He hits Davis with that. Trust me, Davis ain't going to be there. And so that one shot takes everything. The kid's got guts, he's got drive, he's got ambition. He's naive to think, you know what, to believe in himself to get there. Gervonta Davis lets him hit him. You know, he hits him once. Trust me, it's going to make a difference. And you saw that with the power that he's got. Yeah, of course, I'm going to get criticised. Of course, people are going to slag it off. Because everybody's saying Gervonta Davis is this, that, the other. And if enough people say it, everybody believes it. Why not look at Tennyson and think, you know what, this kid's got the punch power to do this. And he's getting better slowly but surely. Look how he demolished the WBA number 8 and he's WBA number 10. He demolished him. So it shows that his ranking, he shouldn't even be there. He should be higher up the rankings. I think with any of the world champions out there, Tennyson showed that he has the power to get the attention, to be a danger man to these boys. So like I said, put him in with Gervonta Davis. He hits him like that, he'll beat him. You know, and that's what I'll stick to.
But Johnny, isn't that in most cases where a fighter can carry power, and if he lands, he could potentially beat him, and I understand that. But just because you carry power doesn't mean you can go and beat somebody, right? If that makes sense. For example, James Tennyson, if you look at his losses, I believe he lost to Tevin Farmer, Ryan Walsh as well. And both of them
he's stepped up to a weight where he's comfortable at, where he feels strong at now, and now he's in a position where he feels at home the weight he's at. He thinks, right, now this is me. And you saw that Friday night.
So
I think, and remember, Ryan Walsh is a good fighter. Ryan Walsh is just a fighter that's just not had the opportunity. You know, he's a good fighter. So don't say because you lost to Ryan Walsh, X, Y, Z. Ryan Walsh I think is a world-class fighter that has just not been given the opportunities.
But when we talk about Ryan Walsh, and I know Ryan very well, and we've got a lot of love for Ryan, but they've got Ryan Walsh and they've got Gervonta Davis. There's obviously a big difference between Gervonta and Ryan.
Okay, the difference is this: opportunity, platform, and yes, Gervonta Davis is a wicked fighter. He's a wicked fighter, and he's had the platform to show how good he is. He's had the opportunity to display what he can do. Give Tennyson, give your Walshers the opportunity. Give them, and then let's criticise. Then let's say, no, you ain't got a chance. Our problem is, in this country alone, we for some reason, we struggle to find a silver lining in our own talent. We're so busy lushing over what's over the water instead of giving credit to what we have. And that's our problem. And I don't understand that mentality. Because if you keep thinking with that mentality, you're never going to be as good as the people across the water. Unless you've got one maverick that says, you know what, fuck that. Yeah, I can do this. So I stick to what I say. I stick to the fact that Tennyson, he manages to get close to Davis. He manages to hit him. I'm telling you now, that kid carries power. He carries concussive power, and he hurts. So to me, I just think, well, you know what? I'll stand by it. Prove me wrong. Let's see what happens. You never know. A couple of years down the line, that fight happens. If he pulls him off, they'll show that replay. And I hope they pull up all the Twitter abuse and Nelson don't shit. He's a what's it name company man. I hope they pull all that stuff up because to me, I just think silence is golden. So I don't mind. I'll give a justifiable argument for every comment I make. I'm not saying to just piss people off. I'll give a justifiable argument. There's an argument going around where some idiot keeps saying, and Nelson's the man that said Bellew is technically better than Alexander Usyk. Did he watch the fight? Who was ahead on points up to the stoppage? Bellew or Usyk? So technically, someone was doing better than the other. Someone's game plan might have been better. Usyk's a great fighter. But you know what? I've looked at him, and this guy's overrated. He's overrated, especially now when he stepped up to heavyweight. So regardless of popular the poll going with what everybody says, I don't mind standing alone. No problem at all. Come with me, I'll stand over there and bitch. But I'll stick by everything I say.
And you're absolutely in your right to have your opinions, Johnny, we must say. But also, I got to obviously state as well that we do support our own here in the UK. But as fans and people in the industry, we look at who is regarded as the best. And obviously, people say Gervonta Davis is one of the best fighters in the world, let alone his division, one of the best, definitely in the top 10 in the world. But then when you put someone like James Tennyson there, who hasn't yet proven himself against...
Opportunity not. So that's why you will sing the praise and say, Davis this, Davis that. Opportunity. So if he's in a position, he's under the Mayweather umbrella, yeah? He's in a position to have a platform to say, look at me, look at what I can do. And so, of course, everybody's going to think, wow. You know, there are many fighters out there that probably haven't got the backing, that haven't got the promoter, that haven't got the springboard, that are very talented, but for one reason or another, maybe they've not got the character, the charisma, or whatever. You're not seeing these fighters. It's about opportunity. So people need to use common sense. Just because people have had an opportunity doesn't mean the people that haven't had an opportunity aren't capable of doing that. You just haven't seen them. They just haven't got the opportunity. Let them have the opportunity first, and then make a comment. Then say, this one's the best.
Then that's referring to you. You said then make a comment, but let James have those step ups. Let him get to that fringe world level, and then let's see, and then make a judgment whether he can or not.
And that's what people are upset about. I made a bold call and said Tennyson has the power to stop Gervonta Davis, and I believe that he has the power to hurt and trouble any of the heavyweights of his division out there, any. And I'll stick to that. I do. And if a guy can start demolishing through opponents in his division, in that top 10, if you're rated in the top 10, you're not there for a reason. You're there because you've earned that place. You've earned that position. Just like Davis has earned that position. So Tennyson now is in a position where I'm glad people are talking about this. And now they watch Tennyson and think, well, you know what, he might be a bit rough around the edges. He has got power. They're considering what I'm saying. Nelson's a nutter. Well, what's he on about? Boy, the kid's not bad. He has got power. Let me have a look at this. And they'll do their homework. That's all I'm asking you to do. Do your homework.
Tony, did you watch the fight yesterday on BT? Anthony Yarde and Lyndon Arthur?
Yes, I did, yeah. Yeah, and Arthur kept his Commonwealth title. I congratulated him. I said, well done. He boxed well within himself. What I saw, what I heard in the corner, this kid doesn't have the confidence to match his abilities. He's actually a lot better than what we saw. In saying that, I did agree with the decision. I also saw that, and this is like I'm dissing Arthur, but I'm not, and because this is about timing and everything, I think Anthony Yarde lost rather than was beat. He was too busy looking good. You listen to the corner. Yarde can fight. Yarde is better than that. There's no point in posturing and posing thinking, yeah, I've got this, but no, doing jack shit, because the man's going to pickpocket you in front of your very eyes. And that's what Arthur did. He pickpocketed in front of his very eyes. That could have been, and you saw towards the end where Yarde started to engage, and then you saw my man, he hurt my man. Caught him towards the end, I thought, this is what you should have done earlier. Brendan always said, sometimes you've got fighters that'll box, they'll stand back to admire the work, and all that time they're getting picked off, getting points. That's what happened. He lost that fight. He didn't get beat, he lost the fight. And I'm not saying Arthur can't beat him, because Arthur did what he had to do with one shot. The commentators got it wrong where they're saying there's something wrong with his right hand. There was nothing wrong with his right hand. He just couldn't find the shot. I couldn't understand why they couldn't understand what he was saying. I can't find the right hand. I can't let the right hand go. He was basically saying, I haven't got the shot. The shot's there. Yarde's not give me the shot. He caught him once, maybe twice with that shot. There's nothing wrong with his right hand. A jab did enough. And the jab did enough because Yarde put himself in a position to get popped with a jab. He was waiting and waiting, too busy looking good. And Yarde's a good fighter, so now he's got to rebuild, lick his lips and think, you know what? Lesson learned. Lesson learned.
What does Yarde need to do now? He got a lot of criticism on Twitter, I've seen over the last 24 hours. People have said he needs to change trainers, he needs to start sparring. We're not sure what the situation is. Well, I do. I've actually seen him spar.
Listen. Tunde's a good coach. Tunde knows his shit. And so when people are so busy telling you need to do this, that, and the other, well, it's got him to where he has to this point in his career. He went in with he was underexperienced when he went in with Pulev, and he gambled and he gassed out. Friday night, Saturday night, so he made a mistake where he thought he was too good to get busy, and now there's always a responsibility when you become a fighter that has something about you. Because once you start to get complacent, your belly's full, you think, I've done it. If you start getting complacent and thinking, I don't have to do anything, that's the biggest mistake. You need to go in every fight hungry, like you're the challenger, like you've got jack shit in the bank, like everybody's against you. Once you go in there, cocksure, complacent yourself, only 1-2 fighters can do that, and that's Floyd Mayweather. That's one fighter I've known that can do that, go in there. Naz, he was one of those fighters as well. There's not many of those kind of fighters around. Yarde had to go in there hungry. Because remember, he wasn't the champion, he was the challenger. But he walked in and he had the attitude of the champion. And I mean, the champion that sat on his throne to say, I'm the king is here. You know what I mean? But and it's attitude, because he has ability, he has talent. Unfortunately, attitude let him down. And that now will make him think, right, that shit won't happen again. Lessons have to be learned. It's how people come back from these kind of losses.
Johnny, boxing went quiet during lockdown 1. We came back with Fight Camp. You was there all the way through. We've had all these bubbles since that Eddie Hearn's put on. Next week, for the first time, fans are back. You're looking forward to 1,000 people in attendance?
Without a doubt, I think it's going to be really good. I'm just packing my stuff to join the bubble. I ain't looking forward to that at all. I've got my mate moving into my house for the week, so it's going to be trashed.
Why is your friend moving into your house?
Pardon?
What did you say? Your friend's moving into your house?
He's moving into my house. Take care of my dog whilst I'm out here. So he's going to live in my house while I'm down in the bubble. I want to take my dog down into the bubble. And so I'm packing my training gear, packing everything, as though I'm going on some badass holiday. But really, you're just stuck in there with the fighters. And it's going to be interesting because you'll be like the amateurs when you've got two opponents, two fighters that are going to fight each other, sat on one table, one side on the other. You're in that same environment. You're there. I gather Pulev's already arrived. Yesterday, AJ will be in as well. Camp's will be there. It'll have to be very civil and professional. But again, it's an intense environment to put yourself in. And I'm intrigued, to say the least. I'm glad that some fans, the lucky 1,000 fans that have managed to buy tickets, have managed to get out. It's a great sign, a sign of things to come.
Johnny, when Joshua was in New York against Ruiz won, a lot of the talk then was about what happens after Ruiz. Deontay Wilder was on the lips of everybody's mouths. I spoke to Matthew Macklin earlier, and he said even in the fighter meetings, we spent an hour and a half with Anthony Joshua, and we asked only 2 questions were asked about Andy Ruiz. We're going in next Saturday, and already Tyson Fury's name's being mentioned already. Tyson Fury may be in attendance. He may come to the bubble. He may turn up on Saturday night. The split has already been agreed. The principles of the 2 fights has already been agreed. Has Joshua learned from that mistake he made earlier? Should he only focus on Kubrat Pulev?
Okay, so first of all, Tyson Fury ain't going to turn up unless that he's signed, sealed, and done a deal to fight Anthony Joshua. He ain't turning up Saturday night. So let's not get him gassed so silly. Why would he? He'll sit at home and watch it. That's number 1. Number 2, in regards to Joshua's attitude, Joshua's had to learn the hard way. And it was a great lesson to learn in the Ruiz fight in regards to looking at the next fight on, or looking at how he knocked out A, knocked out B. So he's learned massively. So just because he's not said anything, don't. And obviously we've seen true to form. He looked beyond that. He hasn't. Pulev's a good fighter. Pulev's there to be taken. Pulev can be beaten, and Anthony Joshua understands what failure and loss does. He understands how people's attitudes and mindsets and their respect level can change once you're from a hero to a zero. So he's going to go in there like a hungry fighter that is in the away corner. That's what he's going to fight like. I don't expect him. I'd be very surprised if he made that mistake. So again, it's a great story. Will he make the same mistake against Pulev because nobody's talking about Pulev? No, he won't. We're not talking about him. He's at him, slept him, trained him for the last 3 months. So he's consumed by him. So I don't think Anthony Joshua made that mistake. If he made that mistake again, then there's something fundamentally wrong. If you catch him once, but if you get caught a second time, there's something not right. And so I'd be very surprised if he made that mistake.
Okay, Johnny, thank you so much for jumping on. Give me a little bit of time. What's the plan for the rest of the evening? Doing much?
I'm packing, man. I'm packing, and I'm going to get an early night.
When do you go into the bubble?
And then I'm in the bubble.
Tomorrow?
In the bubble. Tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
I'm in the bubble, so it'd be interesting. Got my training gear. See if anyone wants a sparring partner, you know. No, I'm joking, man. I'm joking. I ain't sparring them big boys. Too young, too fresh for me. And but yeah, I'm looking forward to Saturday night. It should be a good one. And of course, let's congratulate Errol Spence for his win. Errol Spence beating Garcia. Errol Spence was too sharp, too busy, too fleet-footed, very fit towards the end. Got the win. You're talking Spence against Crawford. I'd go Crawford. Even though I think it was a good fight with both of them. And but it was so congratulations to him. He did well.
Johnny Nelson, IFL TV, thank you very much.
Peace.
This is something that comes along every now and then in generation, and it's special.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free impartial advice on all your debt.